Okay, so today I want to talk about college recruiting. We're getting close to the high school season. Some players are already starting to play high school ball. Up here in Massachusetts, we're a couple of weeks away from the high school season beginning. And so I want to talk about the college recruiting process because as players are able to get outside, and yes, it's a little difficult to get recruited during the spring because so many colleges are playing. But as we move towards the end of the spring, and then especially in the summertime, more and more college coaches will be out to watch players play. And so let's talk about how are we going to create the most interest possible as players. So there's a few things that you really have to understand when it comes to college recruiting. The first thing is that it's going to take a lot of work for 99% of players. You're going to have to be proactive, and we're going to talk about exactly what you need to do. But you first need to understand that the player, now the parents can help and they can support the player in this role, but the player has to be extremely active. Too many players, in my opinion, think that they're just going to go on the field, they're going to play, and then tons of college coaches are going to come swarming their dugout. And when they leave the field, they're going to be throwing scholarship offers and roster offers at them. And for 99% of players, that doesn't happen. Maybe for the top 1%, that does happen. But for most players, if you're watching this video, that is not how it's going to happen. And so you are going to have to take steps, additional steps, outside of just playing in your games and trying to be the best player you can be and trying to perform the best you can on the field. You're going to have to take additional steps if you want to garner interest. So I want to start there. Your number one goal is to garner as much interest as possible, and then you can filter down from there. One of the biggest mistakes I see is that players don't try to get enough interest from enough schools. They think that they're going to pick their 2 to 3 favorite schools, and that those 2 to 3 schools that are the tops on their list are going to like them. You have to remember that there are literally hundreds of thousands of players that are trying to play college baseball. And many of them want to play at the same schools. There's only so many schools in the country. And if you think that you are going to pick 2 to 3 of your favorite schools and that they are, one, going to need a player at your position, because not every school is recruiting every position every year. So they need to be recruiting your position in your class, and then they need to like you as a player more than everybody else. So if they are looking for a shortstop in the 2026 class, they need to like you, if you're a 2026 shortstop, more than everybody else in the country that's interested in them. Think about those odds. Those are not good odds. And so that is the biggest issue that I see, is that for some reason, players and parents, they just think that, oh, I want to go to Boston College. Of course, Boston College is going to want me more than everybody else. That's what so many players think. And so the first rule is you need to have a huge target list. Huge. You need to start with as many schools on that list as possible. And I would recommend 100 schools, if not more, because that is the number one mistake I see. The list is too small. And then they get through the summer and they go, man, those 2 to 3 schools that I really wanted to go to, they're not interested. What do I do now? And it's really late in the process. And there's so many times where I'm telling players, you have to expand your list. You have to expand your list. You have to expand your list. And they're like, no. I want to go to these 2 to 3 schools. So make sure you do not fall into that trap, because if you waste all summer just trying to go to 2 or 3 schools, your chances of going there are going to be very, very slim, again, unless you're one of the best players in the country. So let's say now that you have a list of 100 schools, or hopefully even more. What do you have to do then? Well, the next thing you have to do is you have to get video. That's the way you're going to get schools interested. If you just reach out to schools and say, hey, I'm Matt Antonelli, I'm a 2026 shortstop from Boston, Massachusetts, and I really want to play at your school, and I'm the greatest player, and even here are some of my stats and some of my awards, and here's my schedule, please come and see me. Well, the chances of them coming to see you are almost zero, because they have no idea who you are, and they can't see a video of you. So they need a video. So it's important to get as much video as you possibly can. Now that video can come through practice. So right now we're taking video of our players at our facility, whether you're a pitcher, a hitter, a defender, it doesn't matter. Get as much video as you can. And when games start, get as much video as you can. It's very, very important. Another mistake I see so many pitchers that pitch in a game and have no video of it. I see so many hitters that hit a home run or hit 2 home runs or go 3 for 4 with 3 rockets and they have no proof of it. If you don't have video of it, it almost didn't happen. You can tell a college coach, oh, I went 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and a homer. But if they can't see what that looks like, it's almost like it never happened. So make sure that you are videoing as much as you can. The more video you get, the better. Now, once you have that video, you can then take your best video and you can put that on your social media account. So I do suggest that you have an X account dedicated just to recruiting, and you're going to put your best videos on there. You can also have a YouTube channel, another great place to put your video. So those are 2 spots that I think are essential to have your video. Now, some players may have a profile, and if you have one, that's fine. If you don't have one, you need to make sure that you get your videos on both YouTube and on X. Again, as much video as you can. And now you can start to reach out to schools on that list. Again, as many schools as possible. I would much rather the list be way too big than too small. And you can start emailing schools with your links to the video on YouTube, or if you have a profile, and you can even start messaging schools on X with the videos from your profile. And this is how schools actually know that you exist, because now when they get this message and they get your information, you're gonna write an email just like I just explained before. You're just gonna give background on who you are and where you're from and your position and your grade and your academic info, and you're gonna have video, a link to your video. And what's going to happen is that coach is now going to say, okay, I am looking for a 2026 shortstop. Let me look at this video and see if this player fits. They're going to click on your video and they're going to watch. And if your video matches up with what they're looking for, it doesn't mean they're going to offer you a scholarship. It doesn't mean that they're going to give you a roster spot right there. But what they probably are going to do is they're going to reach back out and they're going to try to get to your game to see you play in person. And this is how you get interest. Now, the other great thing about sending out a lot of emails to a lot of different schools is that will naturally start to narrow down and give you an idea of where you may fit. So this is really important. This is how you start to narrow down your list. Because if you send that email and messaging out to a bunch of Division I, Division II, Division III schools, and you start to notice that no Division I schools are replying, and maybe 1 or 2 Division II schools are replying, but a bunch of Division III schools are replying, and they want to come out and see you play. This naturally starts to tell you that, well, maybe the D3 level is where I should be looking. Now, same thing. If you send your video out and all of a sudden all these Power 4 schools are reaching out saying, we want to get to your game. Send us your schedule. Where are you playing? Let's get on the phone. Let's talk. Well, now you have a really good idea that that's probably a potential good fit for me. I'm probably a D1 player, because not every player knows. This is what's really difficult. It's difficult for players and for parents to really know where they should play. Now, with our program, if you play with Antonelli Baseball, that's my job, is to help you understand where you can play. But not everyone plays for a travel program, or not everyone plays for a program where they have someone that can help you with that. And so the way you narrow down your list is by sending out tons of emails and tons of messages with video. Again, that will help you figure out, where could I fit best? Who is actually replying to me? Really listen. Look and see who's replying. If you don't get any replies from D1 schools, you can resend that message again. I'm not saying you can't. But after a while, you have to say, okay, I have to step back here. Let's see who's replying and who isn't. Who's showing genuine interest? Who wants to come watch me play? They're telling you what you need to hear. They're helping you narrow down your target list. And now you can start to really focus in on those schools that are actually showing genuine interest. And now from there, you can start to build relationships with those schools that are showing the most interest. Schools are going to start to come out. They're going to watch you play. Some schools might start to call you. And now you start to build that interest through phone calls and through communication with those schools. And you slowly start to work your way towards hopefully receiving either a scholarship or a roster offer. So I know I went through that pretty quickly, but that should give you an idea of what you need to do and the steps that you should be taking. If you are a 2026 grad, you should be doing that right now. If you have not done that yet, well, then you're starting to fall behind a little bit. You need to start to do that. I recommend doing that in the spring. And then as we work our way through the spring, continue to do so. And then when the summer gets here, that's your main recruiting season for most 2026s. And so you need to be doing it at that point. If you have any other questions on the recruiting process, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try to help you as much as I can. Like I said, with Antonelli Baseball, this is my main job. I coach our older teams. I help with recruiting throughout the year. I'm always talking to college coaches, and so I'll help you as much as I can. That's all we have. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you later.
If you've got hitters that you're looking to improve before the start of next season, this is essential for you. Matt Antonelli here, former Major League player, first-round pick, and college coach. With this course, we're going to show you exactly, step-by-step, how to generate power, develop bat speed, and enhance swing mechanics. Regardless of your hitter's age, this course is going to deliver advanced hitting techniques that will allow any hitter to get better and make an impact at the plate this spring. We have a full catalog of training content that you can access from anywhere at any time. This course is perfect for players, parents, coaches, instructors, and more. Our course has helped hitters all over the country at different competition levels, and the feedback that we've received has been outstanding. The work you put in now will drive your success at the plate this spring. Get the essential knowledge that you need to take your game to the next level.